And here we are at the beginning of Jam 1 for first period here, and we've got Zip on the line for Guns N' Rollers and Pollywanna Cracker for the High Rollers. Pollywanna Cracker getting out and grabbing lead jammer before I could even finish my sentence, King.
That's kind of how it works in the game of Derby. Well, as you know, in the game of Derby, those who wear the stars, they are the jammers on the track. They are the ones that play offense and score the points.
Looks like we do have our first penalty heading to the penalty box. That was on Irie Strider. After having a big hit on Pollywanna Cracker to the outside.
Yeah. Well, so how it works is the jammer has to get through on their initial pass. They have to get through and become, and when they get back into the pack on their secondary pass, it is then their scoring pass. So as you can see, both of them got through legally, and both teams now have 4 points.
That was a wonderful explanation.
One of the key factors you got to remember, though, how they score points is by passing the opposing blocker's hips.
And here we go in our next jam, and we've got Evangelical up against Lurs Lemon. Lurs Lemon grabbing lead jammer status.
Evangelical having a rough time in that green wall. Everybody's down in the middle of that apex.
Lurs Lemon finding a narrow, but she ends up with a forearm penalty, so that does leave GNR in a power jam.
Yeah, this is going to go the full 2 minutes as Evangelical finally gets out of the pack on their initial pass. Oh. Liquor and Split out there as a blocker, just wrecking everybody. Dakota Evans had to take the brunt of that blow.
Liquor and Split coming down from travel team to one of the home teams really spells a lot of trouble for anybody who has to come up against her.
Lurs Lemon back on the track. Offense coming from Dakota Evans. Lurs Lemon with a nice jump out, scoring 4 points.
That was a beautiful little hop that got them around that little clog on the track.
So in case you're wondering why this is going the full 2 minutes, Lurs Lemon was the lead jammer. Now, the first jammer to legally get out of the pack.
Another beautiful move by Lurs Lemon. I just had to interrupt you there for that.
That's right. Once they're the lead jammer, they can then call off the jam at any time. If you pick up a penalty after designated as the lead jammer, you lose that status.
Evangelical also with a hop, skip, and a jump there at the top of the apex, getting past the opposing blockers.
Oh, Evangelical gets through.
Got tripped up quite literally by Pixie there on that apex jump.
Wow, that was dangerous. I was almost worried there was a step out of bounds, but it looks like she did stay in and picked up those points. We have a tight game, 17-16 in 2 jams so far. This is going to be exciting.
Both teams starting with a full complement of players on the track. That does mean that we have a 5-on-5 game.
So in case you're wondering what those players out on the track are, those are your blockers. They have to constitute a pack, and they have to skate together.
Apocalypse looking for some offense from her team, and she finds it. Apocalypse will be our lead jammer this jam.
Angela Death finally out of the pack.
The look on Apocalypse's face as she came around that turn was something to be had.
She called it off, but I'm wondering if in time there is a late penalty on the track, and that will send a player to the penalty box. I think that was Copernicus. So that's going to put 2 blockers down.
And does mean that the High Rollers are going to be starting with a pack advantage this next jam with 5 skaters on the track as opposed to Guns N' Rollers 3.
And Split possibly picked up another infraction.
There were so many whistles going off right then. And
Rosemary's Babies also headed to the penalty box. You're right.
And we have just a rotating door on the penalty box right now. Currently, we've got 1 GNR skater and 2 high roller skaters in the box.
The Bud Light penalty box is too full. Shallon Spocker's got to come back on the track.
Zip ducking underneath those blockers, picking up a quick 4 points.
Wow, fans, what some awesome roller derby so far. Don't forget to head over to the concession stands and grab yourself a delicious Bridgeport beer.
I don't know about you, King, but I can really feel how excited these skaters are in these first couple of jams. I'm wondering if everybody's going to sort of simmer down here in a little bit and get more of their head in the game. It seems like people are playing a little impulsive right now.
Right. Liv Bader's out there as your jammer for GNR. She is out first as your lead jammer.
Lurs Lemon getting some offense from Alicia Nisbet-Smith to get her out.
All 4 points being picked up, and we've got a tie game. 23 and a half minutes roughly left on the clock in the first half.
OHSU Sports Medicine is proud to be the official medical care team of the Rose City Rollers.
Well, in this case, down on the track, it looks like there is a pack advantage that is going to benefit the Guns N' Rollers this time. Only 2 blockers out there for the High Rollers.
And there is the whistle. We've got Evangelical facing off against and Evangelical is picking up a cut track.
Big Bang Fury, absolutely devastating out there. But she picks up a direction of play penalty.
She still very expertly drew that penalty on Evangelical, though.
Big Bang Fury, of course, a junior who has aged out, and we are lucky enough to see her in a high roller uniform now.
Nuga Knockout being drawn back to the back of the pack by the GNR.
Liquor and Split as a blocker. That's something else. I haven't seen her block in, I don't know how many years, but.
And she's everywhere.
Everywhere.
Like every time I look, Liquor is there.
Nuga Knockout back in that pack, top of the apex. Whole lot of mesh in there. Everybody's like, it's like a battle down there.
Nuga Knockout getting knocked to the outside by Liquor and Split.
Multiplayer block being called. That's going to send Rosemary's Baby to the penalty box.
Nuga smashing her way to the front of the pack.
Shallon Spocker picking up a low block penalty. So again, High Rollers 2 blockers down. Nisbet-Smith and Big Bang Fury, the only 2 blockers out there for the High Rollers.
I feel very confident that they're going to be able to wreak some havoc, slow things down, and they did.
Yeah, well, you know, from the 2 blockers that were out on the track, Alicia Nisbet-Smith and Big Bang Fury are definitely 2 blockers that can contain a jammer.
They've got really good synergy together, and just between the 2 of them, they are able to cover so much distance on the track that, yeah, they just make it impossible for that jammer to get around.
Coop is going to join him. It looks like a blocker did get released, so Shallon Spocker now the sole green shirt in that Bud Light penalty box.
Down there on that jam line, we see Angela Death for GNR and Polywana Cracker for the High Rollers.
Excellent defense by the High Rollers. And Polywana Cracker comes out the other side in turn 1. That's your lead jammer right there for the High Rollers.
Angela Death about half of a track behind them. Both jammers being recycled to the back of the pack. Angela Death really coming afoul of Alicia Nisbet-Smith there, getting recycled to the back again.
Angela Death trying to fight through. Wow, finds an opening right through the middle of that wall. Big Bang Fury was the only one that could stop her. An incredible wall being set up. Coop comes in.
There we go. There's the O that Polly Cracker's looking for. She gets it from Coop, number 51.
Excellent rotation, though, by that wall. They are still stuck on Polly Cracker.
And we do have a high roller being sent to the penalty box on a high block, looks like.
That should be the third, I believe, on Shalyn Spocker this early in the game.
Again, I'm thinking that after we get through a few more jams, people are going to be settling down a little bit. We'll get these first game of the first of the season. And that was a devastating jam in a good way, in the best of ways for the high rollers. We now have a score of 45 high rollers to 3-0, 30 points GNR.
All right, I know we got a full house tonight. Lots of excited fans down there. If you could wait for it to be in between jams or at a timeout before walking in front of everybody, because we've got a lot of folks that are trying to watch the game. So there's lots of stoppage of play. So just wait for that before you run in front of everybody that's watching the game. All right, and we also are looking for Zuzu Ogden and Jason Richards. If you could head down here and talk to Rocket Bean, she wants to talk to you about getting the correct season pass.
We'd like to give a shout out to Tonkin.com. The largest selection of new and used autos in the Pacific Northwest is only a click away at Tonkin.com.
Lures Lemon out there for the high rollers going up against Zip Drive. There's a
And that is a multiplayer block being assessed on Liquor and Split.
All right. So, folks, this is a sold-out game. So if you could snuggle up and get close to those next to you, so we make sure we have all kinds of room so everybody can get in here. We'll get this jam back underway after this injury timeout.
Plus, if you squish together, it's not nearly as chilly in here.
That's true. You know, it is January in this city of Portland, and it does get cold. So it looks like we will get this next jam started, and there will be a power jam start. Angela Death is your jammer down on the line, and we will get this jam started right back up. All 4 blockers are going to be out there for the high rollers. And it looks like Liquor and Split is in the penalty box.
And those high roller blockers immediately pushing back on Angela Death, making life a little bit harder. Knockout to the outside by Alicia Nisbet-Smith. Pulls Angela Death all the way back to turn 4 on the track. But somehow in that whole process, a big enough opening was left for Angela to just power on through.
What? Whole lot of action down on the track. Angela Death comes in way too hot, makes a connection to the back, and that is going to be a back block call.
And suddenly we are going for the full 2 minutes again for this Jam King.
Lures Lemon with a beautiful jump and twist to get around that last line of defense to get out of the pack.
I'm beginning to think that that might be Lures Lemon's thing. Or maybe it's going around blockers backwards.
Wow, that was another great move. Lures Lemon showing us all about the full skill set that she has.
The GNR blockers now locking down tight on Lures Lemon, making sure that they don't move nearly as far as they would like to. Heading up that blocker pack is Liquor and Split. Alicia Nisbet-Smith making life hard back there for Angela Death as well.
Wow, the struggle is real, and Lures Lemon finally finds an opening to get free. That was a long jam, and right now the high rollers are on top, 57-31 over the Guns N' Rollers.
We'd like to give a shout out to Black Cat Plumbing, your local neighborhood plumbing company and a proud sponsor of Rose City Rollers and the Wheels of Justice.
Wearing the Jammer Stars, this jam, we've got Liv Baders and Apocalypse. Alicia Nisbet-Smith expertly drawing a track cut on Liv Baders that go around.
That was almost a photo finish for how quick both of them ran back. But yeah, Liv Baders did get in front of the hips of Alicia Nisbet-Smith to draw, and she drew that back, or that cut track.
Apocalypse in that last go around, just catching GNR before they could reform.
Whoa! That was a huge hit up there, opening it up and helping her jammer get free.
Apocalypse asking for her fans to go ahead and whip it up a little bit more.
Another gigantic hit on the track.
Liv Baders just got stopped in their tracks.
And that's like another back block call. Liv Baders headed back to the penalty box.
High rollers going ahead and calling that jam so that they are able to start strategically the next jam in a power jam. I think I just said jam 5 times in one sentence.
At least 5 times. Well, there's going to be a power jam to get this next jam started. And Gangrene comes up and swarms that wall.
Polly just so fast off the line. Oh, man. Such amazing defense and offense from her team allows her to just be able to skate on through on the outside like that.
Cut track's going to be called. That is going to send Bunny to the penalty box.
GNR now able to catch Polly Cracker and jamming her up, but not for long.
Four more points being picked up. Polly Cracker continues to go on this scoring roll. Pun intended. Copernicus with a nice hit back, finally slowing the momentum of Polly Cracker.
And there's some more by Schallensbacher, but not quite.
We've got a star pass, and Bunny ends up with the star. Excuse me, that was not Bunny. That was Irie Strider.
Wow, that's some fast and furious action. If you get a minute, you're thirsty, head over to the concessions. Get yourself a two-town cider. Damn fine cider made right here in the Pacific Northwest.
Know what I'm getting at halftime? Evangelical, Lurs Lemon, those are your jammers down the track. Lurs Lemon again coming out backwards.
But picking up a cut track.
Put a foot down out of bounds. Evangelical is your lead jammer. Evangelical goes through, picks up 4 points. They've had some trouble scoring points, and Evangelical says, nope, not anymore.
Alicia and Coop up at the top of the pack, trying to stop Evangelical, and they just can't quite do it.
I am quite impressed with Lurs Lemon. Lurs Lemon back out of the penalty box, already got through, is on scoring pass. Picks up 3, looks at the players' club, and the crowd goes wild.
Lurs was pretty happy with that. The look that they gave the crowd there at the end. Pure joy.
Well, the Bud Light penalty box is empty. It's going to be 5-on-5 derby out there.
And down on that Ron Tonkin jammer line, we have Angela Death facing up against Nuga Knockout.
Angela Death is through as your lead jammer.
Nuga Knockout getting recycled back to the jam line.
Tiggs is in the penalty box, picking up an infraction. Copernicus got a penalty, and we'll go join Tiggs over there.
Well, at least we're evened up, 4-on-4.
Nuga Knockout finally gets out in turn number 2. This call comes to an end, though. 3 points being picked up for GNR.
Helping to be more awesome in your work, sport, and life. WSL Leadership Coaching.
Zip, Drive, and Apocalypse are your jammers out there. There's a pile up at the pivot line.
And we have a cut track being picked up on Apocalypse, which is going to leave our Guns and Rollers in a power jam.
Yeah, this is exactly what the Guns and Rollers need. The last 2 jams have been putting up multiple points. And now Zip Drive is out there. Another 4 points going on the board for her.
Zip really capitalizing on a little bit of fumble-footedness there. Picking another quick 4.
Zip drive down on that inside line, decides to step out and try again.
Alicia Nisbet-Smith opening up a line for Apocalypse to go ahead and get on through.
Apocalypse goes by the crowd, pumping their fist, trying to rile everybody up.
808. Food's so good it straight broke the mouth. 2 locations, Burnside and Woodstock.
And with about 8.5 minutes left in this period, we've got a score of Guns N' Rollers 53 to High Rollers 87.
And in the last 3 jams, the Guns N' Rollers have held the High Rollers to a very, very low scoring, and while they continue to put points on the board for themselves.
And we've got Liv Baders and Polly Wanna Cracker down on the track again this jam. Polly getting recycled back by Irie Strider.
Interesting. Now, wow. Polly Wanna Cracker got out in turn 1, stepped out of bounds, but so did the person who knocked her out. So she's free to go, but not your lead jammer.
That would be a no pass, no penalty.
4 points being put on the board now for the High Rollers. Oh, and we've got a power jam now for Polly Wanna Cracker, who will be benefiting it, and that will be another 2-minute jam.
So I do have a question for you, because it's an esoteric rule that maybe I don't know, but since Polly got out with a no pass, no penalty, does that negate the lead jammer status?
There will be no lead jammer this jam.
So yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I think I missed the very last 2 words of your question. I was like,
What is she asking?
but yes, that's a great question, and that is how that works. Nice offense coming. Coop comes in, tries to wreck that wall, takes a step back to her own wall.
That was Pixie really trying to work some O there for Polly.
Copernicus picking up a forearm penalty. That'll be 2 blockers down in the Bud Light penalty box.
Copernicus has seen quite a few trips to the penalty box this
I think
period.
that's her 3rd, if my memory serves correctly. This jam comes to an end. 4 points being put on the board. That's going to be a 12-3 difference with a score of 99-56. High Rollers right now on top. Evangelical will start on the line out there for the Guns N' Rollers.
Up against Lurs Lemon. The pack's going to go ahead and start moving pretty quick right at the whistle there.
Wow. Lurs Lemon use them toe stomps like a pro.
Getting around Liquor and Split to become our lead jammer.
Wow. Again with the toe stops, and this time with a spin.
Every time they're out on the track, Lurs impresses me a little bit more.
Just imagine a drinking game where you had to drink every time Lurs Lemon got around somebody with a spin. How drunk would you be by halftime?
Oh, definitely not able to call the second half of this wonderful, amazing game. Or maybe I would. Maybe my calling gets better.
Yeah. No. At
I've
least
never
not for
tried.
me. Angela Death and Dugan Knockout are your jammers down on the track. Dugan Knockout had just a brief opening. Excellent job by the Guns N' Rollers wall to close it.
Nuga received a little bit of help from Alicia Nisbet-Smith there at the end before they got out, and that was really what made it possible.
Excellent offense coming from the Guns N' Rollers, and it made it very easy for Angela Death to get out on her initial.
There are some skaters who are just so good at playing offense.
Angela Death caught them all looking the wrong way. Nuga Knockout gets knocked down, calls it off. So it's going to be a trade-off, 4-4, both these jammers scoring on that last jam.
The live broadcast of tonight's excellent doubleheader is being brought to you by Blaze Streaming Media.
We've got just about 4 minutes left. High Rollers at 107, Guns N' Rollers at 60.
And it looks like we've got Liv Baders and Apocalypse down on the jam line. And I was correct.
And Liv Baders is out as your lead jammer. This is definitely the way Guns N' Rollers want to end their half. Liv Baders got out very, very strong and now in a scoring position. Well, I want to remind everybody, we have a raffle coming up. It will not be at this halftime, but the following halftime. It's got a load of prizes in there, valued at over $1,800. It's located right next to the front door. So if you want to head over and check it out, you can see all the fabulous things you can get. And you can buy a ticket for $1. You can buy 10 tickets for $5, or you can get the height, or excuse me, your height or somebody really, really tall next to you for $20.
Find somebody wearing skates. They're really tall.
I'm pretty tall in my high heels tonight. Goodness gracious, $1,800 in a raffle basket? That's hard to believe, but it's right here in front of me. What kind of stuff is in there to make it $1,800?
There's all kinds of stuff. There's Hamilton Beach juice extractor. We'll get to that in a minute. Back to the action.
Action is back on. Zip Drive and Polywana Cracker are your jammers out there.
Polly capitalizing on some confusion on the track, finding a wide open lane, going through. They are our lead jammer.
Well, I can definitely say in the offseason, High Rollers focused on some defense because they just look unstoppable. Coop picking up a direction of play. It's always tricky in those corners.
Five minutes to burgers, beer, and bottomless fries. Killer Burger.
Evangelical and Lurs Lemon are your jammers out there. We are just about 2.5 minutes left in this first half of this first game.
Evangelical out as our lead jammer, followed closely by Lurs Lemon, only about 2 turns behind.
Evangelical bursts on through to the other side and picks up 4 points.
Lurs Lemon really turned on the afterburners there, trying to get through the pack to pick up a couple of points before the jam got called.
Angela Death and Apocalypse are your jammers down on the track. Angela Death right now struggling to get through a constantly recycling wall. Lurs Lemon gets through, is whistled as lead jammer, and then promptly is escorted out of bounds, and that would be
by Irie Strider.
Yeah, Irie Strider. Very good. Thank you.
Coop and Pixie playing the bridge there between the 2 pieces of the pack.
Multiplayer block being called on You're Gonna Be Sorry.
Irie running Apocalypse back again.
Apocalypse gets knocked out of bounds in turn 3.
Irie trying to draw a cut track off of Apocalypse and just doesn't quite manage to do it as they stepped out of bounds themselves, it looked like.
Apocalypse once again, that was her initial pass. She's been lead jammer for about a minute now. Oh, and there we go.
Irie Strider seems to be everywhere on the track that Apocalypse wants to be. I've seen the 2 of them come up against each other about 10 times in this jam in that pack alone.
Apocalypse trying to find room on the inside, tries to work the outside. And this jam comes to an end. We are at intermission. We've got 3 more points being put on the board for the High Rollers. All right, we will see you back here in about 15 minutes. Grab yourself an ice cold beer and some nachos and get ready for another great second half.
And as King makes his way back up here into the mezzanine, we are kicking off the second half of this first game of season 14 here in the hangar. Down on that Ron Tonkin jam line, we do have Zip up against Polly Want Cracker.
And a cut call being called on Zip, who will now have a seat in the penalty box.
That does leave High Rollers in a power jam for the first jam of the second period. Let's see if Polly's going to be able to capitalize on it. King, I'm pretty sure she is going to be able to capitalize on it. Big hit by Irie sends Polly to the ground, but it also sends Irie to the penalty box.
And that's a half a 6-pack sitting in the Bud Light penalty box. Want Cracker comes in, trying to fight a way through. You're going to be sorry. Glued to her until she gets knocked out by some great offense coming from Coop.
Coop moved from one blocker to another blocker to another blocker like a pinball, knocking people all over the track.
Like to shout out to Deb Counts Tabor. Let Deb guide you home. Proud realtor sponsor of the Rose City Rollers. Check it out. A welcome to PDX.com.
Down on that jam lane, we've got Evan Helical up against Lurs Lemon.
Slight pack advantage for the Guns N' Rollers in this next jam.
Katie Quick starting this jam out by trying to mess up those high roller blockers.
Evan Helical gets out of the pack, and a cut track being called. She put a part of her body out of bounds, came in front of the opposing blockers, and that'll sit you in the penalty box every time.
Lurs Lemon with some Matrix-style moves, trying to stay in bounds there, but it does not work.
And it looks like a cut track on Lurs Lemon, so we're going to have a jammer do-si-do, and that'll release Evan Helical. Now, in a case like this, for those of you who don't know, Lurs Lemon only has to serve as much time as Evan Helical did
before being released.
Before being released. Thank you for
finishing your sentence.
Yeah, I was looking at the action on the track and it got distracting, so sorry about that.
Happens to the best of us.
Best distraction ever.
Evan Helical making short work of that pack, picking up another 4 points for the Guns N' Rollers.
Woo! Lurs Lemon comes in and does 2 hops to get through. Another beautiful move. Lurs Lemon picking up 4 points on that pass.
Pixie from the High Rollers going and taking a seat in that penalty box, being joined by Liquor and Split of Guns N' Rollers, I believe on some penalty that is not coming to my brain right
it was
now.
a direction of play.
Thank you.
Yep.
I got your back, you got mine.
There you go. That's how that works. Another beautiful little skip over that inside line, and how she stayed in bounds is beyond me.
Or upright, for that matter.
Well, for those of you playing the Lurs Lemon drinking game, there was another spin to get by that blocker, and that is how you get out of that pack.
So I know that we are just barely into period 2 here, but we do have a score of Guns N' Rollers 88 to High Rollers 142.
Guns N' Rollers, though, coming out very, very strong, picking up 20 points in that last jam.
High Rollers with a moderately disappointing season last season, really coming out on the track hungry this season.
Yeah, their defense looks incredible. But, of course, Nesbitt Smith coming back and joining that blocker wall, that's going to be huge. And getting Big Bang Fury.
And Coop.
And Coop. Apocalypse right now pushing this wall all the way up to the pivot line.
Apocalypse not needing any offense, through on their own right.
And that's a sweet spot of the track. Those corners have so much more room to run than a straightaway due to the turn, and it makes it very easy to take advantage of blockers up there.
Apocalypse calling off that jam, but not before picking up an additional 3 points on that pass and holding GNR scoreless.
Hey, we'd like to give a shout out to Buffalo Gap, John Landing's favorite eatery and saloon.
Wearing the Jammer Stars. This jam, we've got Liv Baders up against Polly.
Interestingly enough, Rosemary's Baby's back on the track. Looks like she took that first half, recovered for whatever was ailing her, and is back.
Liquor looking for the drawback on Polly, but ends up with a penalty.
This jam comes to an end. We have 2 more points being put up by the High Rollers, bringing their score to 147, holding GNR scoreless in that last jam.
The friendly people over at Echo Construction love custom home building, remodels, and roller derby.
High rollers starting out this jam with a little bit of advantage. There's the whistle. We see Zip up against Lurs Lemon. Lurs capitalizing, getting out as lead jammer.
Looks like she came up holding her face. Might have got hit in the chops there. In the game of roller derby, that does happen with these big hits.
As long as there's no blood.
Irie Strider had a nice hit out, forcing the call off. And no points were put on the board in that last jam.
Hey, we'd like to give a shout out to Oaks Amusement Park, home of the Rose City Rollers and the place to buy all your derby gear.
Evangelical and Nuga knockout facing off this jam.
That was beautiful. Nuga knockout followed Shaolin Spocker as a defensive blocker, basically, opening up a hole and making it easy for her to get out.
Yeah, Shaolin Spocker created just enough confusion in the pack there to allow Nuga to slip on through.
Evangelical is so strong. She does get through on that inside line.
Nuga forced to call that jam as Liquor and Split took her to the inside twice in a row.
2 points being picked on the board for the high rollers in that last jam.
We've got some very vocal high rollers fans right beneath us here.
Rightfully so. Oh, and with that, Polywana Cracker all the way up front.
Alicia running Angela back right off the jam line.
Wow, that was great. GNR has picked up Polywana Cracker, and they're holding on to them in the top of the apex.
And that is Mayday and Alicia Nisbet-Smith holding Angela Death at the back of the pack, not letting her get through.
Angela Death losing a knee pad in that last jam.
Add Big Bang Fury to that tripod there, and it's not good.
Like I said, the defense of the high rollers looks like a totally different defense than what we saw last year.
Absolutely.
Nice call off.
And in addition to that defense really being bolstered during the offseason, they've got some jammers that are unbelievable. Like, I think that the high rollers are really probably going to give the rest of the teams a big run for their money this season, King.
That's a great way of putting it, a run for their money. Ka-ching.
And I didn't even plan that.
Where's puns when you need them? All right, next up, Lurs Lemon is out there going up against Liv Baders.
Lurs Lemon's one of those jammers that I was talking about that just recently got drafted to the high rollers, if I'm not mistaken, and has really made a difference in that jammer rotation.
Wow, Van Helslinger made contact with Lurs Lemon and took the brunt of it. There we go again. Lurs Lemon with a nice little spin around that last line of defense.
Just a little running backwards.
Yeah. I don't think I could do that with skates off, much less with skate on, you know.
It just goes to show you what fantastic athletes these roller derby athletes really are. Defense, offense, jammers, pushing, toe stops, running.
Spinning.
Full contact.
Yeah.
That Bud Light penalty box is cleared for this jam. We do have 5-on-5. Zip out ahead of everybody. Picking up lead jammer.
All right, in top of the apex, Apocalypse still trying to fight through that Guns N' Rollers wall. Nice job by You're Gonna Be Sorry, continuing to put a body on that jammer.
Zip really looking for some offense from her teammates. Zip really thinking that discretion might be the better part of valor. They're not testing, picking up a cut track, goes ahead and calls off that jam.
OHSU Sports Medicine is proud to be the official medical care team of the Rose City Rollers.
Evangelical teeing up against Polly.
Evangelical just negotiated. I think she hit every blocker in that pack, including her own team, to get out of there, and she went right through the middle. Well, 3 points were put on the board for Guns N' Rollers. They are creeping ever closer to that century mark.
The largest selection of new and used autos in the Pacific Northwest is only a click away at Tonkin.com.
Angela Death and Lurs Lemon wearing the stars this jam.
Angela Death getting knocked out of bounds in the straightaway. Has to go back and start way back in turn 4. Lurs Lemon finally getting shut down by this GNR wall. Really having to struggle right here to find a way out.
Angela Death is equally being shut down by the High Rollers defense here. Between Coop, Alicia, and Big Bang Fury, there just isn't very much room to move on the track where there isn't a blocker.
Oh, and we're skating the wrong direction. Everybody's going backwards right now. So once again, we do not have a lead jammer as of yet. And we are all the way over back again in turn 2.
Alicia drawing back Angela Death yet again.
Copernicus with a nice hit out. Lurs Lemon stuck in this pack. Oh, and there was a jump on the inside line. Lurs Lemon is your lead jammer.
And there is a panty pass. Irie Strider now jammer of record for Guns N' Rollers.
And there is also a penalty. Lurs Lemon now sitting in the penalty box. So this is a power jam benefiting Irie Strider.
Nisbet Smith again, everywhere where the jammer is, there too goes Alicia Nesbitt Smith.
And this jam comes and went in. And with that, Guns N' Rollers are sitting at 100 points. And the High Rollers are at 167.
GNR really doing a very good job these past couple of jams at holding the High Rollers scoreless as they just creep up their score by 3 points, 4 points.
And it looks like Zip is going to start in a power jam. Lemon right now standing in the penalty box.
Zip is our lead jammer.
This is definitely looking good right now for the Guns N' Rollers. They've got 15 minutes to make up 67 points. Zip is your lead jammer. Oh. Lemon coming in very hot. Almost looked
Lurs.
like lost control.
Lurs is so fast.
Both sides picking up 3 points at the end of that jam.
Evangelica and Nuga Knockout facing off this jam. Nuga Knockout got some amazing offense, found an inside line. However, Evangelical is going to get sent to the penalty box.
Picked up a cut track out there. Oh, Nuga Knockout got a nice bump out from Roller Eclipse.
Maybe Lore Enforcer?
I think it was Roller Eclipse, but it might have been. Oh, man, that time Roller Eclipse could not keep up. Nuga Knockout gets out on the inside line. Nesbitt Smith picking up a forearm penalty.
Copernicus trying to offer one last obstacle, but Nuga getting around her very easily. Evangelical back on the track.
Multiplayer block being called right at the very end.
Right at the whistle.
I believe a GNR player will have to report to the penalty box. Don't quote me on that.
Looks like we do have a team timeout being called.
Hey, gang, if you don't have plans for tomorrow, visit Portland's best brunch spot and brand new RCR sponsor, Jam on Hawthorne. Hey, we'd also like to say thanks to a couple of our sponsors this evening, the Portland Mercury, Shebop, and Myopic Optometry. Thank you so much.
Is there a Uriah down there that's celebrating a happy birthday? Where's Uriah at? Happy birthday, Uriah.
All right, this timeout has come to an end. We've got Liv Baders going up against Apocalypse out there. And Apocalypse picking up a cut track.
That is going to leave our Guns N' Rollers Liv Baders lead jammer in a power jam.
Wow, speaking of Liv Baders, one-footed it around the outside line, picks up the 4 points. That was incredible balance, to say the very least. Offense coming from Guns N' Rollers.
That's Katie Quick, I think, who's trying to impact that mass of high rollers down there. Apocalypse back out on the track and through.
Well, they put up 7 points in that last jam, bringing their total to 110. But High Rollers still on top with 182. We've got just under 11 minutes left. Angela Death will be out there on the line, going up against, I believe, Lady Lux. I think this is Lady Lux's first jam of the night as jammer.
I think it is.
Lady Lux comes out the other side as your lead jammer.
Lauren Forcer catching a piece of Lady Lux, but not running her back very far.
Angela Death pushes this ball out of play. Gets out on her initial pass.
Lady Lux picking up 3 points for the High Rollers and holding in that jam, holding GNR scoreless.
High Rollers would like to thank Left Turn Clothing, where fashion meets function.
Let's do it. Zip going up against Polly Wanna-Cracker.
Polly out in front, picking up lead jammer status.
Zip stuck in turn number 1. Excellent defense played by the High Rollers.
Dakota Evans being sent to the penalty box for the High Rollers.
Katie Quick really giving a hard time to Polly Wanna-Cracker. Continues to be effective, knocking them out of bounds. Three points being picked up for the High Rollers in that last jam.
You know, King, it seems like both teams have really gotten their offense and defense sort of dialed in. We have stopped seeing some of the larger jams, and we've gone down to the 3 and 4 point jams, which to me says both teams are really working very hard to hold the other side scoreless.
Absolutely. There's also a flow of a game, and normally you don't see it until about 6 or 7 jams into the game where both teams start figuring each other out.
Yeah, Apocalypse is out as our lead jammer for this jam. Alicia Nisbet Smith holding up Evangelical.
Ooh. Apocalypse trying to jump there, unable to get through, calls it off. So 2 fists in the air from these refs.
Bringing the very best of classic and modern cinema to Portland. Check them out at Laurelhurst Theater.
You were talking about a flow, King, of both teams sort of getting into a flow 6 or 7 jams into the period, and I guess that's the perfect way to put it, is both teams have just sort of found their flow. Liv Bader's and Nuga Knockout down on the track wearing the stars this jam.
Nuga Knockout having a real rough time right now with that GNR defense.
GNR seems to be holding them up just enough so that they can recycle back around in front of her each time.
Yeah, I think like you said, every player from that team, I think, has hit Nuga Knockout at some point. Beautiful recycling by them.
Can't knock a good Nuga out.
Ba-doom.
I'm full of them tonight.
You're full of something. Multiplayer block. That is going to send Bunny to the penalty box. Rosemary's Baby is back, knocking out Liv Baders.
With authority. I don't know if I'd want to be Liv Baders right now.
No. Rosemary's Baby, another, another
big
junior
pop.
that aged up and just continues to get better as a skater.
The intense eye contact that Rosemary's Baby is giving Liv Baders down there on the track, I'm scared just being up here.
Oh, yeah. That was definite focus on wrecking someone's life for the next couple minutes. Salin Spocker picking up a penalty. We'll head to the penalty box. Pixie also picked up a penalty and an additional penalty for insubordination.
I'm glad you're paying attention to the penalties because I'm just paying attention to Rosemary's Baby. It looks like we are getting a timeout called by GNR.
Hey, gang, if you're feeling a little hungry in between the games here, be sure to head on down to the concession stand and grab a garden bar wrap. You also might want to pick up a Bud Light.
So I ended my last sort of statement there with a question mark. I would like to more aggressively say there is a team timeout on the track being called by Guns N' Rollers.
Excellent. Well, we've got 5.5 minutes left in this game. We've got a score of 193 to 110. Guns N' Rollers just kind of want to close that gap a little bit more, make this more of a closer game, because that does go into the rankings.
It is, although I'm definitely not going to be the first person to take a gamble that they're going to win.
No, I think they just want to have a better showing. They're going to give their team a little bit of a rest to finish strong and do the best they can to kind of close this, like I said, close the gap.
If you have the timeouts, now is the time to use them to rest your skaters.
All right. And with that, very good call of a timeout. Zip is out first as your lead jammer.
Pauly with some amazing lateral movement there, trying to get around those GNR blockers. Roller Eclipse, the last person for Pauly to get around.
Zip gets out, looks at her bench, calls off this jam. Pauly was coming around very quickly.
Coming in hot.
Lady Lux once again down on the track waving to her fans. Evangelical's out there also with a star on her helmet. Slight pack advantage for the Guns N' Rollers. Multiplayer block, and that's going to be called out there on KD Quick.
And at the same time, Evangelical getting out, picking up lead jammer status. And we have another penalty being called on the track for the High Rollers. That is Dakota Evans taking another seat in the penalty box.
4 points being put on the board for Evangelical.
Irie Strider making trouble for Lady Lux at the front of the pack.
Lady Lux finally out of the pack on initial pass.
Bunny also being sent to the penalty box.
Evangelical looking for a penalty. Not going to get one.
Evans coming in and destroying that tripod that GNR had set up.
Unfortunately, in the process of doing that, took out her own jammer to the outside.
Yeah, well.
Dominoes, man. They all fall together. 4 points being picked up by Lady Lux.
And with just over 3 minutes left in the game, we have a score of 122 Guns N' Rollers to 197 High Rollers. They both have rollers in the name.
Rollers on rollers.
Rollers on rollers. On roller skates.
Whole lot of rolling going on.
Hey, we'd like to give a big thanks to a few more of our sponsors, Portland Vital Signs, Kay's Bar, and New Deal Distillery. Thank you all so much.
That distillery, I believe they have a caramel bourbon that I've yet to try.
Where is this at?
Yeah, what's the name of that distillery again, sir?
Kay's Bar?
No, the distillery, sir.
Oh, the distillery. New Deal.
New Deal.
New Deal Distillery.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to try that out.
Yeah, well,
Salted caramel anything has me.
I'll have to, like I said, I got to double check, but I was pretty sure I was reading about that the other day.
That's the game we should play in the next game is a drinking game with the salted caramel distillery stuff.
And by 10 minutes in, I'd probably be face down. And that would be the end of that. Interesting lineup out there for the High Rollers. Excellent work reforming, though.
Angela Death and Nuga Knockout working hard at the end of the game here against opposite blockers.
Liquor thought they had taken out a blocker, and they did not.
Liquor playing some trying to disturb or agitate or confuse.
That was actually incredible offense from Liquor. And what was even more incredible was how quickly the defense reacted.
The High Rollers came back together.
Uh-huh.
Just goes to show you can have the best offense in the world, but if your defense is ready for it,
That's correct.
it can be really, really hard to capitalize on those moves.
And this defense comes back together. They've now got a hold of Nuga Knockout in turn one.
Shaolin Spocker trying to help Nuga Knockout up there.
And
they
that was
do.
that was a good set of little offensive play from Shaolin Spocker. Multiplayer block being called. That's going to be assessed to Roller Eclipse.
And it looks like we do have a star pass for GNR, but just not enough time to really make something of it.
Hey, you guys know we were talking so much about that beer and that distillery. How about a two-town cider? Damn fine cider made right here in the Pacific Northwest. Oh, it looks like we have an official timeout. That's a Trailhead Credit Union timeout.
And this is an official review and a timeout.
Is it an official timeout?
It just might be.
I think that means this is a Trailhead timeout.
Yes, indeed, if it is.
Trailhead Credit Union, amazing credit union, and the sponsor of all official timeouts here at the hangar.
All right, this timeout is coming to an end. I believe Liquor and Split is standing over on the side. I think that is going to be all for her tonight.
Zip and Pollywanna Cracker facing off here in this, what might be the last jam, although I am not going to be held to that.
As Zip put a foot out of bounds, Lisa Smith stayed back. And that's going to send them to the penalty
and
box.
then there is a multiplayer being called on Irie Strider.
Wow.
And there was already 2 GNR blockers in the box.
You're going to be sorry. It's all by herself out there with 4 high roller blockers.
It's like, what do you do?
You know, I would just that right there.
You try to do that. Valiant effort by Yoga Nabisari.
Katie Quick with a nice bump, unable to recycle to the front and catch Pollywanna Cracker.
Nabi now joined by Roller Eclipse and Katie Quick.
Almost got past Mayday on the outside line, but Zip stepped out of bounds.
Big Bang Fury giving Alicia a push there at the end to try and catch a piece of Zip.
And we have an unofficial score of 223-122. I'm sure the refs are going to get together and talk about it a little bit. Make sure that everything's correct, all penalties are assessed, and everything's been taken care of. Want to remind everybody, we will have the MVPs coming at the end of this game. And we have a final score in Game 1 of Season 14. High Rollers have come into Play Derby, winning 223 to 122 over the Guns N' Rollers.